Volume of a sphere. All right, so this is the last one we're going to deal with volume. So we do need to write down the equation for volume of a sphere. So each one of these different items has its own equation. I do recommend you be writing notes and that you keep maybe a section where you can write down all your volume equations so that you know how to find all of that. So volume equals 4/3 pi times r cubed. And for whatever reason, not quite sure why, but they made R a capital R. That's kind of an interesting way to do that. So with this one, they told us that D, the height of this sphere, is 15 centimeters. Well, we want R, we want radius. So we're going to take that and divide by 2, and that's where they get 7.5. So that's why they divide by 2, because we want to take diameter and we want to change it into radius. And then we're just going to plug that in. That's the only thing that we have to plug in. And when we go through, and the ALEKS calculator is really nice about this, it will show you everything you type in. So I do suggest using this one, because there's my 4/3. And then instead of pi, they're asking me to use 3.14 times, and I'm going to go 7.5, and I'm putting in parentheses just to make sure that it knows what I want. And then I'm going to hit this little button here that's the XY, and I'm going to put a 3 for my exponent, and I'm going to hit equals. And there you go. It does it for me. So that's all we're doing on this one. It's really, really a simple one. We just need to make sure that we know this formula here. So I'm going to rewrite it for my next page here. So let's go ahead and next. Hopefully that's not in my way. Perfect. It's not in my way. So this actually tells me that R is 6.6. So I don't need to do anything at all. I can just start. I can go to my calculator here and start plugging it in. So I have 4/3. Make sure you type it in 4/3, not 3/4. That would, you don't want to flip that fraction over. Times 3.14 times, and then R, they told us, is 6.6. I don't actually think you need to do the parentheses. Sorry, I was trying to remember. It's going to know that you want 6.6 cubed. All right, that equals, and it says, do not round any intermediate computations, meaning in between. So if you multiplied 4/3, it doesn't, like if you did 4 divided by 3, it doesn't want you to round that. It wants you to wait till the very end and round to a 10th. So here's my 10th. I look at the number right past the 10th. 4 smaller, and it just rounds down to what I already have, which is 1203.6. And the meters cubed was already in there. Meters cubed means that it's a volume. Check. All right, we're good to go. Next one. So this one, they do give me diameter again. So I need to take the diameter they give me and divide by 2. So I get 8.4, I believe. You can always confirm that over here. So you have 16.8 divided by 2, and you get 8.4. Perfect. So now we're just going to plug that in to our equation. So 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 8.4, and then I'm going to hit that little button and cubed. So when, especially when it says don't round any intermediate computations, because we're doing this all at one time, there isn't anything to round until we just hit enter, and now we can round. If you're doing it a piece at a time, that's what they're talking about with intermediate. It means in between or before the end. So we want to round to a 10th. So my 4 is my 10th. I look at the number right past it. If it's 5 or bigger, and it's a 5, that means that my 10th, my 4, is going to round up to the next 10th. So it's going to be 2,400, so 2,481.5 millimeters cubed. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to just erase this part so I don't get rid of my whole formula here. Next, one more of these. Okay, so they gave us R again. So the radius of the sphere is 5.7. So we can actually just grab our calculator and start plugging things in. So 4/3 times 3.14 times R is 5.7, and we have to remember to cube it. We're rounding to a 10th, which is this 3 here. I look at the number right past it, 4. 4 or smaller just rounds down, which just means that everything past the 10th just drops away. Because we're just deciding, are we closer to 775.3 or 775.4? So that's just the idea of rounding there. Check. All right, we finished another one. Yay.